This is for all these young kids who are on YouTube posting about vampires, vampire spells, and claiming to be vampires, to know about vampires. I find this humorous because I've been a Satanist now for 34 years. I grew up in this world. I grew up with the rituals and the ceremonies that go along with it. One of which is the things that we summon, or through evocation or invocation. But to see these kids, anywhere between the ages of 8 and 15 years of age, talking about vampirism and seeing what they think they know is downright humorous to me. Because to me, they are nothing more than monkeys who are talking shit about things they have no idea about. You might as well be a prey asking. You might as well ask the prey what the predator is thinking about them, talking about them. It is downright funny to think about it because of the fact that I've communed with demons. I have communed with spirits. I have visited many worlds through astral projection. I've dealt with many savory wannabe monkeys in this world claiming to be psychics and demons and vampires and werewolves. There was a guy by the name of Derek who lived around my area. He was a freaking moron, thought he was a werewolf. Until he tried to come at me. He thought he was more powerful, and I took him down. Knocked him unconscious with a single, elbow strike. The guy basically stayed away from me after that and learned his lesson. So when you think of these monkeys who talk about spells with vampirism, it's humorous because they don't have a freaking clue what they're talking about. Do vampires exist? Yeah, they exist. They're called doctors, lawyers, and the Christian church. It's all about money. They spend 20 minutes doctors do a 20-minute to, say for an example, an hour's worth of work within you. And then they charge about $1,000 or $10,000 for doing a 20-minute procedure. Lawyers make a 10-minute call, or say for an example, 4 calls. They hire a private investigator, so there's about $400 right there going to the private eye. And they charge you about $7,000, $8,000, and nothing really gets done. It's like the legal system. They say you're innocent until proven guilty. Well, the truth is you're guilty until proven guilty. That's how it works. So, and when you talk about the Christian church, it basically is all about money. Well, my Bible says you need to give me 10% of whatever your earnings is. Really? Would you take food out of a child's mouth? You talk about responsibility and duty, but yet you want $10,000 when somebody doesn't have it? Or 10% rather, when somebody doesn't have it to give? Talk about vampires. But here's the thing. You got all these young kids nowadays talking about vampire spells on YouTube. About werewolf spells. Any occult faction that you can think of, from the Order of the Nine Angels to the Brotherhood of Satan to the Church of Satan, the First Church of Satan, the Werewolf Order, to the Temple of Set, you know, even the Luciferian Church, or the Church of Lucifer, which is really not really a church, but an organization, will tell you, we don't allow children to do rituals. They don't have anything to do with magics, spells, or anything to do with that until they come of age, where they have a firm grasp of the magics, of what they are doing, about the chamber, why it's made that way. Everything. They learn the history, and I mean everything. Just to make sure this is the path you wish to go on. And only then will you see what happens within a ritual chamber. You will not perform or have any duties in there until you become an adult. This is what every occult out there, from paganism, Wicca, and most of all, Satanism, is about. We deal with things that are not only on the upper worlds, but also the lower. And to hear these kids talk about vampire spells, that's downright humorous to me, because they don't have a freaking clue what they're talking about. And they're making themselves look like idiots. Like monkeys that want to be something more than what they are. They're food, they're cattle, nothing more. So, if you're an underage kid who wants to sit there and post about werewolves and vampires and talk about spells, you might want to remember this video. Because without it, without doing your research, your homework, and everything else, you're basically making yourself look like an idiot. Freaking morons. And people wonder why I'm a Satanist. But that's all I wanted to say. So, hail Satan, have a good night. And by the way, have a gloomy day.